And welcome back from this long break. Now we are back again at the analyst desk. And yeah, with me is today 𝘀𝘰𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀fox for game number or for the series number 2. Yeah, 𝘀𝘰𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀, 𝘀𝗀fox, how you guys doing? How was the first series for you? And how's your day going on?
I mean, I really enjoyed the break. I mean, it was pretty surprising for me actually that we got such a long break after 3 games, because usually when there's 3 breaks, it's also 3 close games. It was just one team stomped the other team, then the other team stomps back, and then the other team just stomps back again. So, yeah, I kind of enjoyed the break, and I'm ready to see another interesting series.
Yeah, and the next series is coming up next will be, of course, 𝘀𝘀cie Esports against 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀fox. I think for both of those teams, it's really important to win the series, right?
Um, for 𝘀𝘀cie, it feels a little less important, only because they feel like they are still a decent ways out from being legitimately challenged from anybody. At the moment, in terms of standings, what we've got is Saigon is 2 full series behind them, but they still have a pretty comfortable lead, and especially with only like 3 full rotations of the series, 4 full rotations of the series over the remainder of the split. They're not insanely pressed, especially since they've got like Burst the Skies on the docket, SBTC is on the docket, Team Secrets on the docket. They're not feeling the pressure of necessarily having to win right this second. The important thing, though, again, is just a measure of 𝘀𝘀cie had in a really impressive first half. Now their second half, it has started to look like it's been stifled a little bit. In Saigon, we're questioning as to whether or not they can actually break loose and start to perform like the team that took themselves to finals in the previous split that contested against GAM, or whether or not they are this middle of the pack team that's going to struggle just to beat out SBTC for this playoff spot.
Yeah, top team or middle team is now the question for Saigon Buffalo, of course. And maybe we can show you the standings so you guys can see what we are talking about. So it's a little bit more clear. Only the first 4 will go to the playoffs. So it's really important for for Saigon to show us that they are one of the top teams, because the third place will play against the fourth place. So it's really important. And 𝘀𝘰𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀, we saw today a lot of wild drafts, yeah, coming up to the playoffs. Do you think that in this match, Saigon against I want to say Saigon against Buffalo, Saigon against 𝘀𝘀cie, we will see some crazy things in the draft?
I hope so. And what I'm really looking forward to see is when the draft plays out, if there's actually a 𝘀𝗀tie or 𝘂𝗏 playing in the bot lane for Saigon Buffalo, because I think in this series, like, bot lane is also a huge focus for Saigon Buffalo. So I really prefer that they go for 𝘂𝗏, which is like usually their go-to AD carry when they want to play around the bot lane. And a 𝘀𝗀tie as a veteran is more like expected to play when they are playing a little bit more of a weak side approach on the bot lane and play more at the top side. But 𝘀𝘀cie, they have the top side, they have Killer Queen, they have Coated, they have Blazes, and it is a lot easier to punish Bit than to punish Blazes, so I expect them to run 𝘂𝗏 this time. And considering the draft, I just hope that the 𝘀𝗰𝗋 player is still that high, because 𝘀𝗰𝗋 is just such an insane champion at the moment. Even the Caitlyn just gets outmatched by her currently, and maybe the blue side team will just pick it up at the first pick, as we usually see, or the red side team maybe just even has to ban 𝘀𝗰𝗋 here.
Yeah, in the first series, we saw a high priority for Renekton. 𝘀𝗀fox, what do you think for blue against red side? Is one side a little bit favorite? Is one side a little bit stronger than the other one? What is your opinion, blue versus red?
Right now, I mean, in terms of what's like super strong, it feels like there's no real response to just having priority on a champion that you're looking for, especially since there's literally no other gauge other than what VCS has got going for it. There's a reason that every single team feels like there's no consistent kind of idea behind what drafting is coming about. Instead, it feels like a lot more comfort, all things considered. And so then you start looking at, okay, who uses counter picks a lot better? And to me, Saigon Buffalo uses red side's counter picks better than what 𝘀𝘀cie is capable of doing. Oftentimes you'll see they're not lazy counter picks, but they're counter picks that are still things that, like, on blue side would not be ridiculous to have blind picked into your opposition. And that's how I see things kind of tailoring out, especially because when you think about 𝘀𝘀cie and you think about the players that they're running, oftentimes they put a lot of priority on making sure that, you know, they've got a really good jungler for Killer Queen, somebody he's really kind of forward on, making sure Blazes is in a positive matchup. And from there, they're not using this counter pick as effectively. Coded usually is the one that's absorbed absorbing that. Whereas on the side of Saigon, I mean, you think 𝘁𝗀 is willing to take that pick, 𝘀𝗀gy is willing to take that pick when they allow him to kind of flex outside the normal champion pool they've been running with. Even now, I mean, with like 𝘁𝗀gy having a bunch of champions like the 𝘀𝗀xe added into the pool, and 𝘁𝗀, who has like the old school stuff that he played in the previous split, like the 𝘁𝗀dyr and the 𝗁𝗃. There's quite a bit of different strategy, kind of drafting strategy that the side of Saigon is able to exploit a lot better than 𝘀𝗀ry.
Yeah, perfectly. And we will just start in a little bit in the pick and ban phase. And 𝘀cie, let's talk about a little bit about 𝘀𝗀ry, because they had a really interesting season, starting really well, and now they are like locking in the fourth place, the third place. What is your opinion about 𝘀𝗀ry Esports and their season so far?
It's definitely been a really bit of a roller coaster for them. I mean, they started really well, just getting a 2-0 win against 𝘁𝗀sky, which was kind of expected, I would say, because 𝘁𝗀sky is like more one of the bottom tier teams. Then they got a 2-0 against 𝘁𝗀, which was very surprising, but can be also attributed to just 𝘁𝗀 having a really very slow start, I would say. They really were not ready for the Worlds patch. That was the patch that was played back then. And later on, 𝘀𝗀ry, I mean, they got kind of manhandled by 𝘁𝗀s, which was expected, so because 𝘁𝗀s just literally beats every team right now. And so after that, there was like a little bit of a lull for 𝘀𝗀ry, where they like fell off in week 3. We expected them to maybe like get taken over by the Buffaloes by then, but then they suddenly had a very great showing against 𝘁𝗀s themselves in the rematch, where they like took game 1 and really were up to the task after a week where they like lost to 𝘁𝗀, which was better than expected. Had game drops to 𝘁𝗀t and 𝘁𝗀, who were like very clear underdogs in the series. But this week they were like kind of looking better. So it really is like we're spinning the fortune wheel with 𝘀𝗀ry Esports. They really look different every single week. And judging by last series, they are supposedly the favorites today again. But with Buffalo, you also never know. So Buffalo are a little bit underwhelming so far in the split overall, I would say. But 𝘀𝗀ry, I expect it to be still a slight favorite here.
Oh, all right. So already some strong opinions. 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀, what is your opinion for Saigon Buffalo? Their run so far and this matchup. What are your thoughts?
At the moment, 𝘀𝗀ry has kind of taken a questionable development path over the course of the split. They came out on a very strong foot, being able to make a statement series against the side of 𝘁𝗀, and now, I mean, they lost their split against 𝘁𝗀, so they're down at least one series, all things said and done, over the course of the entire split. So now it's, where do they land in terms of their competition against everybody else? And we start to see them get to compete against middle of the pack teams as they close out the split. We've seen teams kind of have game plans for this team, which I think has been causing problems, which is, 𝘁𝗀queen sometimes is a bit coin flippy when it comes to the jungle, as are a fair number of junglers inside of the VCS. 𝑉IT and ♯3, they have this kind of bandage effect where oftentimes they don't look like a problem until they become a problem for the side of 𝘀𝗀ry. And so for Saigon, in the same way that a lot of teams I think are picking apart 𝘁𝗀s and slowly kind of dissecting that team, I feel as though that's what's going to happen to 𝘀𝗀ry as well, where 𝘀𝗀ry, they've shown a number of different playstyles, but what really is consistently working for them is starting to get figured out by these teams. And it throws me into a bit of a questionable situation where I don't know that Saigon necessarily is able to always beat this team, but the right game plan can always beat any team. And it seemed like last time that they played, they looked like they had a very cohesive plan put together.
Oh yeah, maybe we will see this plan again today. 𝘀𝗀cy already had like a little prediction there, and I think we will just start in a little bit in the pick and ban phase. Yeah, 𝘀𝗀cy, you already brought up a really good point. Who will play ADC today? Will it be Shogun? And like, what are your thoughts today? Will they play around bot lane or a little bit weak side? We will see in a minute, because the pick and ban phase just started and the first bans are coming in.
Yeah, and it is Shogun, so I'm very glad that they are picking the right choice here, because I think they should play one bot lane. I think their top set is just not as strong as the one of 𝘀𝗀ry. 𝘀𝗀ry were going really firing on also Linus with Blazes recently, who is like silently a very good performer this split overall, I would say, on like more of the control picks. And 𝘀𝗀gy is kind of the polar opposite of that, with like his a little bit more skirmish heavy champions, him tending to sack some lane CS to just have good roams, good skirmishes on his side. And he hasn't had the most hottest split so far, but here and there he still just shows his full talent and brings in the spicy picks out. And we see a first pick 𝘁𝗀, which surprised me a little bit, I gotta be honest, because Lucian Nami is open on the other side, and you didn't even pick the Jinx yourself. So I don't really like the start of the draft for Saigon Buffalo here.
Yeah, and on the other side, we are seeing the Lucian all day, every day. 𝘀cie𝗰𝗋𝗋, maybe possible, 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀?
Yeah. 𝘀cie𝗰𝗋𝗋 as much as possible. It's a matter of, I think Saigon, Shogun and 𝘁𝗀𝗋, neither one of them particularly wants one of these champions individually. So you run the risk of splitting them up or, kind of bogarting yourself into that system, which it hasn't been shown too much from the side of Shogun and 𝘁𝗀𝗋. So instead, they're using this first pick to patch up what is one of the weaker points on the roster over the course of this split. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 has not been having the same kind of split that he had when he was in contention. If not, I believe he actually won what was rookie of the split just a couple of months ago. Has not been on that form whatsoever. The 𝘁𝗻 is one of the few champions that has actually looked really clean for him, and it sets up this kind of team fighting that the rest of Saigon has been able to get behind. And I also really like the fact that they are going back to the victor. This is something that I pointed out in the previous series, which is that when 𝘁𝗀𝗋 has been left alone and not expected to roam constantly with teleports, Predator, on a Galio, on a Twisted Fate, actually has really good laning stats, is really good laner when he's left to his own devices. This was very much on display when they played Team Secret just a couple days ago, and it's going to be on display yet again when he plays against Blazes now on this insanely powerful Victor.
Yeah, Victor, one of the champions you can play in the mid lane right now, really good on this patch. And on the other side, we say Graves, 𝘀𝗰𝗋𝗋. We talked a lot about the Graves in the last series. What do you think about this jungler in the VCS?
It's usually a pick we tend to dislike because it has like its certain weaknesses. It doesn't bring really like any CC. Its DPS is like sometimes a little bit iffy. It's not really good from behind. But for 𝘁𝗁𝗀, it is a fitting champion. Usually he just defaults to something like Viego or like the usual skirmisher junglers like Xin Zhao or Talon, but they are both banned. I mean, Talon Respect Ban was against 𝘁𝗁𝗀 put down. It's something that even teams like 𝘁𝗀 do. And I gotta also go back towards the Victor Tristana rotation from Saigon Buffalo because I think this rounds out the comp much better. 𝘁𝗀𝗋, as 𝘀𝗀𝗋 said, is better when he actually is allowed to lane, and Victor is also a champion that would have been good for Blazes, so I like the takeaway there, and Victor maybe the strongest mid laner on the patch together with 𝘁𝗁𝗋, who would maybe still be open for Blazes now, but 𝘁𝗁𝗋 not a champion that is picked much in the VCS in general, and as long as they find a stable bot lane on the side of Saigon Buffalo, I think they kind of rescued their draft a little bit.
And again, we see locked in the Renekton for the top lane, this time against a Cannon, which I think 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀, maybe a matchup you wanted to see?
This is a 𝘁𝗁𝗋 likes to play the Cannon. I don't think it's actually been a better champion for him this split, but it does fit when it comes to this kind of team fighting style. And usually 𝘁𝗁𝗋 is relatively reliable when it comes to team fighting, so we do have that to kind of consider as well. As we take a look at the whole composition from Saigon Buffalo, it's actually really well put together when it comes to AoE and CC. Was that insta-locked? Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's an
we get the old school counter. Look at that.
Yeah, Rel and 𝘁𝗀 insta-locked, and wait, here some things are going on. Blaze is taking Graves for the mid lane, and we have the 𝘁𝗀 jungle for 𝘁𝗁𝗀, which you guys talked a lot about. 𝘀𝗀𝗋𝗀. Oh, wait, okay, I was just totally confused. Wait, what is going on?
Mid lane Graves, I'm not sure if they are serious with that, because I would have rather preferred the 𝘁𝗀 mid lane here, but I don't like the 𝘁𝗀 in general, actually. I think maybe for 𝘁𝗁𝗀 it is a better option because it doesn't counter Victor anymore. With the crown of the Shattered Queen, he just gets run down by the weight boss Victor late game, and he just has to like get out of his range immediately there, and he cannot really one-shot him anymore, which is something that was like one of the big perks of this matchup to find. 𝘁𝗁𝗀 on the 𝘁𝗀 is like a little bit more of a chance that this works out well, but that's when really do well into Victor. I'm not that convinced, actually, and I think Saigon Buffalo actually overall, also with the bot pick, I like well into Nami because it actually punishes solution Nami early on. I think Saigon Buffalo has this one.
Oh, all right. Already locked in your prediction. And yeah, 𝘀𝗀𝗹𝗀𝗀, we talked a lot about 𝘁𝗀𝗋, that you should just let him alone playing his lane. And now you have like the crocodile. Is he now able to play his lane? Because the croc will always be in his face, no?
It's a bit harder, but it's not impossible. In top lane, this is a lot worse a matchup because it's a long lane for Renekton to chase down with the double E, but in a short lane, it's a lot easier to use your tower to press against it. It does open up for the potential of a setup for a gank from the likes of the 𝘁𝗀 to put on pressure, and I assume that's what they're going to do here, is they're going to use this mid jungle and to just attack 𝘁𝗀𝗋 as fast as possible and make sure that this kind of fundamental team fighting aspect to the side of Saigon is broken down. I love Saigon's composition. I'm going to predict Saigon, although I am anticipating 𝘁𝗁𝗀 going absolutely nuts on this 𝘁𝗀.
And two guys or two people who will also go nuts is the wonderful 𝘁𝗶 and 𝘀𝗰𝗋, who will just cast this wonderful game.
Thank you once again, 𝘀𝗀𝗋. It's been great having you on the desk, and I hope we have several more fantastic games for you and yours to break down. But 𝘁𝗶, it is an interesting one here. Echo, a pick that has not exactly been common. We've seen a lot of 𝘁𝗀𝗋, we've seen a lot of 𝘀𝗀𝗋. Now we finally got the tech boys of Arcane.
Yeah, a little bit early. Doesn't have the skin to work with quite yet, but we're gonna see him bust it out regardless. Very interested to see where 𝘁𝗀𝗰𝗀 goes with this and how they try and play around it. But because the rest of their top side is fairly interesting, and that mid lane in particular, that matchup seems very rough into the Victor. But you're looking across the other sides, coated on the Graves into the Kennen. That's going to be a bit of a bounce back and forth. Nothing really going to amount to much, as a lot of noise happens in my background.
Yeah, Pippin's having a good day, I would say.
Yeah. But on the other side, you have Lucian Nami, and they aren't being matched by something like the Caitlyn, like the Jinx. So early levels, they have the opportunity to punish the Tristana while she's still short range, but always be on the lookout for 𝘁𝗀𝗋. Always be on the lookout for that rel engage. If they can grab that early level 2, they have the shove right now, so it might come their way.
Yeah, it was a leash versus no leash, so SGB should have level 2 well before. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if they can really make a play due to where the lane was. But yeah, that was never super in contention, as 𝘁𝗀𝗋 will get shoved under his tower. That's what Graves does. He's a weed whacker. Just takes down these minions all day long. What do you think about putting coated on Graves?
I don't mind it in the sense of putting in the matchup, especially when your other option was, the Renekton?
I think composition... I mean picking it all for coated. Like, compositionally, I think it's fine. But yeah. I think... Coded has been a bit of an X factor, and he's just on Graves.
Yeah, hey, Graves can absolutely sit there and carry, especially come into the later stages of the game. But it's not just that denial pick as a whole. That
good flash by 𝘁𝗀𝗋. Had to get out of there. I think if that Ruthless Predator hits, he probably dies. So very well played there. Can finish shoving this into the tower, then probably take it back. Good start there, diffusing the first gank, but 𝘁𝗀𝗋 is hardly upset to have gotten the mid laner's flash.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a meme and is saying Graves just denies top lane and makes it into so nothing can happen, which is definitely true, and it's great as a weak side top laner, but you can still play through it as Blazers now has flash up.
Yeah, he is in a lot of trouble here. 𝘁𝗀𝗋 has to get out of there. He will be going down though, and that is going to be a first kill for the Croc.
Yeah, does make them blow both flashes, which is very good, but in the bot side, that's a dead vet.
It certainly is, as the Lucian has fallen. Shogun bounces back out of there with the reset. Blazers TP's in, wants to add another kill, as 𝘁𝗀𝗋's actually going to crash down, trying to get something done, but now he gets bubbled. BJ moves in with the flag. 𝘁𝗀𝗋's very tanky on this rel as they move forward, but it's only going to be enough to fend him back.
Yeah, it was a bit, they were trying to bait in him, but 𝘁𝗀𝗋 calls the jump short, and it ends up not resulting in anything. Had he landed that crash down, it probably results in another kill for SGB's bot lane, or at least goes over to BJ. We don't really need to talk about this. Didn't have flash, just got run down.
There's nothing he can do about that. They both flashed on him.
But
so we can see how this Lucian went down. It was just that was an excellent play by 𝘁𝗀𝗋.
Yep.
Yeah, lovely.
Absolute great flash remount. The exhaust not doing nearly enough. We don't get to see the replay of the flub at the end, but nothing game of that. It was a TP for Blazers, and that amounted to nothing. So small wins for SGB, as it lets 𝘁𝗀𝗋 walk back to lane and not end up actually losing all that much from that first blood.
Yeah. Look, that's sort of just a fated first blood there in that mid lane. So it's good that SGB was able to fire back, able to find an opening onto 𝘁𝗀𝗋 in the bot lane, try and set this Lucian Nami behind. Up on the top side, we see that 𝘁𝗀𝗋 is pushed under tower, but he actually will have a very slight CS lead, assuming he cleans this up nicely. So the Kennen is doing just fine. At the moment, no real gaps between these teams.
Yeah, no, just that first blood really, which was cancelled out immediately, and sort of showing so small lead in mid lane, small lead in top lane, mostly insignificant, but we're seeing 𝗀𝗀, he's found his wraparound. He can make
Yeah.
something happen.
Oh, he misses the flag and drag. Unfortunate there, possibly predicting Vit moving backwards. But Vit kept calm, just walked in the same direction, and he does survive.
Yeah, completely whiffed, and that was the perfect situation, though. They pushed Vit right into the open arms.
Oh, dive?
No.
It's coming in.
But
Blazes is
Blazes
low,
are
though.
damaged.
Yeah, Froggy just ripped as much damage onto Blazes as he could. Perfect response from Froggy.
Yeah, and then brings it off to make sure the wave is cleared. There's no real response. Bit of a waste of time from 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. Not going to be too bad as he can convert straight onto the 𝘁𝗶𝗵, but Blazes is the big loser. He's been poked out immensely. Actually going to come over and top him up is a little bit nice, but we're looking for, well, actually not quite anything at the moment. It's only 7 minutes.
𝗀𝗀.
This is very early setup for, say, a Rift Herald.
Yeah, this is very much just noticing that doesn't need to be in bot lane right now. Shogun doesn't need someone to hold his hand while he just hits minions. It's okay. He's getting the XP from the mid lane. He could still potentially hit 6 beforehand, or at least be the same level as H3, which is what matters.
Yeah, I do think that in the VCS we definitely see the teams the supports at least are very, very unwilling to take experience from their laners, which they should be, especially if you rush yourself to level 6. From there, yeah, ease off. But I think, especially on picks like 𝘀, you need to be just so aggressive at trying to steal. Get yourself up to that level 6, because you have so much more impact with that Magnet Storm. So yeah, good to see him make his way back down to the bot lane. That early roam up, level 7, nothing really comes from it as expected, because there's nothing to do up there.
Yeah.
Dragon warded out on the side of 𝘀cie, and now we're seeing the thing spawn in the top side, and no one's there. Good job, fellas.
Yeah, look, they jumped the gun a little bit, but it does look like both teams maybe have an idea that they want to play around Dragon. We know that's actually something that 𝘀cie identified as a weakness of theirs, was playing around Dragon moving into the preseason patch. So perhaps they've been practicing their Dragon setups, putting a lot of emphasis on it, and they are, well in position to be on the Dragon side of a potential Herald Dragon trade. But at the moment, there is no trade because Froggy's just getting run down and he goes down under tower. They blew his flash early and haven't let up.
Yeah, they've just been going back there
careful.
again.
𝘀𝗀 just has to lose his flash there. Why did he flag and drag in?
Yeah, he solves the opening with the the resonance drive coming back in, the ultimate, letting him so he really wanted to try and punish onto 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀, but it wasn't going to happen. Not able to make it happen. Yeah, just can't make it happen because he doesn't have the damage to follow up on that. Can't burst out 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗃. So bit of a mistake, bit of a flash blown, but
it's a bad flash. Like they can't compete for the Dragon now. They're not in a position to do so with Froggy dead and 𝗀𝗀 without a flash, and he moves over to the Rift Herald, but his bot lane's not there, so this doesn't go down very quickly. This is a bit dangerous. He is. I'm watching. This Dragon. It's not going to go anywhere. I know it's what's on. It's what's on screen, but yeah, that's what I was trying to talk about, because Coded's in a lot of trouble. Flag and drag comes in, gets the knock up, taken down.
Yep, easy pickups. 𝗁𝗏 flashing to secure, and now we see should be full control of this top side with the teleport up from 𝗁𝗏 and not for Coded, so they should be able to convert it into the Herald, but 𝗀𝗀 is backing.
Oh, and another kill onto Vit. Shogun doing well, has another jump, tries to use it to get onto H3, gets his flash, and you'll take another kill on your bot lane every day of the week, 𝗀𝗏.
Yeah, fantastic work from this 2v2 lane, really keeping SGB in it, as they've gotten 2 solo kills for themselves. There was the one in the top side as well, so that brings us to 3. And now 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗃 first onto this Herald. 𝗁𝗏 not in a position to respond. No good TP.
He has TP, but if Blazers just wastes time, they just get this objective. I mean, it can't be that far from going down if the eye's opened once or twice into a smite. 2k health, 𝗀𝗀 is going to spot him now. The eye is open. It's going to be a smite fight, 𝗀𝗏, but 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗃 has full control over the pit. There it is. He just needs to hit the eye. Secured there for 𝘀𝗀. 𝗀𝗀 moves forward, has to flag and drag out. I hate to say it, but 𝗀𝗀's just been caught behind the play.
yeah, 𝗀𝗀 has been just not doing anything effective. He made a couple of good attempts at the bottom lane, which didn't result in anything due to mechanical errors, but alright, we're just gonna see
okay, lovely.
huge engage.
𝘀cie, that's absolutely lovely.
It's a fairly nice response from H3. Great ultimate to interrupt the rocket jump, but yeah, it's not enough. It just isn't enough, and Bit goes down. Good. The hop forces the flash from H3. Really good stuff, but yeah, we just saw SGB on the top side completely collapse in pressure. They got the 1 kill, and they could have converted straight away onto it. They had the health bars on 𝘀gie and 𝗀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀 with teleport as well, but they all reset. They don't group up together to try and push in. Yeah, and they just give up a Rift Herald, and
yeah,
𝗀𝗀 is forced to reset again because he tried to steal it alone.
Yeah, it really wasn't a good play, and you know, you hate to see your jungler kind of getting gapped while your lanes are winning. That's sort of the nightmare scenario. As 𝘁𝗀 is pushed in, the Rift Herald has been brought up here as well. Some plates given over to Coded, as 𝘁𝗀 has to run away, doesn't want to mess with an Echo in a tower dive, who has his ultimate up, of course. Yeah. They actually don't summon the Rift Herald, so they're going to try... Oh, no, they'll do it on this wave. Yeah, that makes sense. So this should be first brick secured for 𝘀𝗀cie, and they should sling themselves ahead in gold. 𝘁𝗀, be careful of the parallel convergence. But he is safe. The tower falls, and it's a good win out for 𝘀𝗀cie.
Yeah, it's big gold injection to 𝘁𝗀 and Coated, and they should be able to run with it fairly effectively. Now we're going to look to see where they're going to actually reassign their lanes. Do they just keep it going, try to punish into the mid lane on the Lucian, or something like that? I think we're going to keep it fairly standard for now, because there are still, in theory, tower plays to be mined, and pressure to go on. So you want to keep as much pressure onto, say, keeping Shogun away from plates as possible. Because he hasn't been able to. He hasn't hit a tower.
Yeah, it's true. As 𝘀gie does have his first upgrade, as we can see. Has been farming pretty well. Not something we often say about 𝘀gie, but he's doing okay, considering how much early jungle pressure was being put onto him. He is still scaling up. As Rebel said, we need a raid boss victor in this game for SGB. And the possibility of that coming online, still very much there. So I'm just poking around the mid lane.
It's always nice.
Oh, hello. Look up the top side. Oh, badly timed Cataclysm there as Coded does use the collateral damage to get out. It shouldn't matter. The flash forward from 𝗀𝗀 and the zap from 𝘁𝗀 will lock it down.
𝘀 might be spotting something on the bot side, not actually going to go too far forward, but
Good job getting out of there.
Can't really catch on to it, but now Shogun is out of position.
Oh, Shogun's in so much trouble. He'll have a W. He has his ult. Is it going to be enough? Not even a chance. 𝘁𝗀 just rewinds on out of there, takes the track back, and 𝘀gie can do nothing but catch a wave.
Yeah, it's really late on the TP from 𝘀gie. Can't really respond. Shogun so far forward while the collapse comes in. We saw 𝘀𝗀 in his attempt to get away from 𝘁𝗀 crash down under the tower, which means he has no means of getting anywhere close to the tower to help out his AD carry, because he has to waddle for a little bit while the cooldown's happening. But let's just see this. There's just a lot of CC, and you don't...
Coded does really about everything right.
Yeah. Managed to quick draw away from the Cataclysm, so it ends up blocking off 𝘁𝗀 a little bit, but he gets run down. There's very little you can blame him for.
We come back for a dragon fight, Marby, as it's down to 1400 health. 𝗀𝗀 currently with the better positions, but there's the parallel convergence. It's going to come down to a smite fight as it goes down, and it's actually taken away by a Nami. The smite was not good enough there from 𝗀𝗀, and a second stack over to 𝘀𝗀cie.
Yeah, and 𝘀𝗀cie managed to get out completely scot-free. Flash from H3 is the only thing really that is lost, because there's just the engage from SGB so far back, not able to actually collapse on it.
𝘁𝗀, he's in trouble. He doesn't have ult, and he will not die. Okay, the firelights continue as 𝘁𝗀 manages to survive, and SGB just have to back off.
𝘀𝗀ie went the other way. They didn't have the damage to get the kill. It's just tragic. It's going to force 𝘁𝗀 back, so this tower defense is going to be real rough, but just very hard for them to actually make something happen, it seems, with the jungle support duo, and the damage is just hanging out in the lanes, trying to farm up best they can for later.
Oh, I can hear a Pippin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. He's very cute. If anyone wants to see the cat that is currently running around, just follow Marby on Twitter. Get lots of updates about her cat. So we do have a fairly close game. 700 gold currently in it. Just ballooned a little bit. Let's call it about 1,000. Let's call it about 1,000. In 𝘀адцye's favor, but SGB still very close. They still have a scaling Victor. This is boiling up to be a very good game, Marby.
Yeah, I think we're still in a comfortable position for SGB, because you look at those late game threats of Tristana and Victor, and you're like, yeah, they're still in this if they keep the gold close for another item or so. They hit 3 items and the gold's still only 1k. It should be easy cleanups for SGB based on just champions alone, but this is good look from 𝘀адцye to sort of keep this pressure down. Finally, the 2 solo lanes in 1 strat.
Yeah, they're coming on down. There's the cannon ult coming in. 𝘀cie diving onto the backline, tries to take down 𝘁𝗲. Still can use his ult to get out of there as well. Needs one more hit for that Z drive resonance, and the clock is striking as 𝘀cie shields himself. Doesn't even need to ult. It's just an excellent play on the bot side.
He is just so fast. That poor little 𝘁𝗲, he's running, he's scampering for his life, but the mean nasty boy comes from Zorn comes and bonks him on the head. And yeah, this is why Store Knights aren't allowed rights. They bonk you on the head. Anyway,
Rift Herald summoned up in the mid lane. They are going to break this one open, get themselves something back. They're actually in a little bit of a gold. Oh no, sorry. They are. The scoreboard just took a second to update there. I was going to say, how the hell did they get ahead? They are keeping it fairly close. Let's have a replay of this one.
Yeah, just so it's a lot of early damage coming out, and with SGB are very happy to fight this because they only think it's these two. Then when 𝘀cie comes down,
I mean,
with the
did you see it? There was like a loading screen for Froggy's brain when he realized how far past him 𝘀cie was. That you could see the moment where the cogs turned of like, wait, where'd he go?
Yeah, I mean, look, the dash blink and then rocket belt just takes him so far in so short time. It's like, oh no, and 𝘁𝗏's like, well, bye. Might have been better off if he'd actually just tried to stay on the tower and trade one back, I suppose. With
maybe hard to call though.
Yeah, it's a hard call to make on the fly, but in the end, it's a kill on a tower for a tower. So keeping it relatively close are SGB, still within that spitting distance, but not. But it is 𝘀адцye getting these small advantages and trying to grow their lead and being fairly successful.
Yeah, but look, I'm still thinking about this Froggy Victor. Froggy is not the kind of player that we often talk about being the late game hyper carry, being the super stable backline source of damage for this team. He's much more commonly put on engage, that kind of thing.
Oh, I don't like this.
What don't you like?
You do not need the 2 sources of the Morellos, I don't think. Not this. You don't need it on Froggy.
I agree. Froggy should... Yeah, I don't like Froggy going anti-heal here. But just to finish the point, because it is relevant, Froggy on this Victor can end up being a raid boss, like Rebel said. He can scale and be basically unkillable with this crown. But I completely agree with you, Marby. I don't like that he's going for anti-healing as well. Just let the cannon do it, and that's enough for now. You need your Victor doing damage. You need Cosmic Drive.
I can somewhat forgive if he had stopped at the orb, but
yeah,
that blasting one does not give me good vibes.
There's not that much healing on the side of 𝘀адцye. Like there's enough to justify one person building it.
Yeah,
but not 2. Not your hyper carry.
Yeah, you see Graves and what he's going to build is actually we might hold that. No, but yeah, you see Graves and you say Cannon's going to be up against Graves a lot. That's fine to build it early. And then he can apply it to the whole team with his ultimate. It's really easy. So you just need the one.
Hang on. Wave is coming in. As 𝘀cie does get bonked up. Not a huge amount of damage or any follow-up there. As in goes the Magnastorm. They're trying to lock down 𝘀cie, but he doesn't matter. He's got the clean hands, Marby. He pays for it with his life, but that doesn't matter. He got what he came for. But now it's all about Shogun. Can he establish the Shogunate as he jumps on forward, has to kite back from the bubble, and it'll actually be Froggy that picks up a kill. So I think 3 kills for a dragon. I think both teams walk away okay with that one.
Both seems to walk away fairly happy in terms of gold. SGB got a huge gold injection, but it does put luxury on soul points. So if they can convert this into the dragon, that's fantastic and a huge win for SGB. But we're going to see Coated make his way forward. He's going to try and put as much harassment down as he can to interrupt this, but he's alone at the moment, so it's a very risky play.
It is, but this is a good play here from SGB. They pull the trigger, go for the very decisive play. 𝘀𝘀 needs to be careful, but 𝘁𝘁 coming in from an excellent angle. Though, because 𝘁𝘀 comes over the wall, and you don't just need to keep people alive, you've got to give them a reason to live. And in this game, it's a Baron buff. It is a jungle diff as 𝘁𝘀 picks up another kill, and he is leading them to success.
That was just a massive disaster. They did not jungle aggro, so BJ got so low that 𝘁𝘀 just pops out and was like, alright, bye. And now, oh, look, a free Baron prepared earlier just for me. What the Buffalo! Anyway, they have Baron now, does luxury. They also wiped that fight 4-0, or maybe 5-0. I didn't actually catch it.
4.
4-0. So they're going to pick up 2 towers off the back of that instantly. Just that one play rockets them straight back ahead to a 5k lead. Looking closer to 6k now that tower in the mid lane falls. And they can reset, hit that bottom tower, and then that's all towers out of the map gone. And yeah, we're coming in after the fact, more or less, but yeah, just a complete disaster with BJ just being able to be popped with one hit.
Yeah, and Coated, we do see getting this final kill, taking the rel down.
Yeah.
Well played. I mean, look, this is all of 𝘀𝘀ry coming online. I guess maybe the bot lane hasn't been amazing. I think 𝘁3's been fine. 𝘁 is not having the best game ever, but 𝘁𝘀, he's someone that we know was struggling to adapt to the meta. He was playing these ultra aggro junglers. He wanted to keep playing that style, and he wasn't thinking it was working on preseason, but he's found another pick, and he's having a blinder of a game.
He has, I mean, I have to say he's been helped out by the fact BJ has decided to not play the game. He's been so invisible. He's just been late to everything, not contested any objectives. He's let Echo get to the point where he's so strong. Blazers? He's going to be caught out.
Yeah, Blazers is caught out, put in the gravity field. Does get away, though. He slices, he dices. The Dominus keeps him alive, only for a little bit, as 𝘀𝘀 will finally find it, but can he find a way away from Coated? Robot v Shotgun. Turns out guns win. 𝘁𝘀 going low. Doesn't have access to the ult, but he does have access to a team. It's not quite good enough to keep him alive as 𝘁𝘁 falls. They get 2 back, but they pay with 3.
Because 𝘀𝘀's been shut down so hard, they didn't actually have the damage, despite it being a 4v1. Players is just too tanky at this point if they don't have Shogun wailing in those auto attacks. He came in late. He just got completely blindsided by 𝘁3. He didn't even attempt to rocket jump away from the thing. Might have been on cooldown because he was trying to get to the fight faster, but using the Hex Tech gate, can BJ make something happen? No, he can't, because they're just going to run him down if he tries.
It's very true, as Saigon Buffalo don't have a jungle. They lose a red buff. They have the cool dudes with guns coming in, and this starts with SGB making a pick.
Yeah, it should be good, and it's like, look, you had that anti-heal, but it didn't actually do anything because it was all Sterak's gauge, baby.
𝘁𝘁 also playing this excellently.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really want to just give him props, because we've been talking about 𝘁𝘀 a lot, deservedly, but that Nami play was excellent.
Yeah, it absolutely ruined Shogun. Ult into bubble was perfect. Shogun, again, didn't have an escape. I can only assume his W was on cooldown, because otherwise he surely would have tried, or his mind was just off as he tunnel vision onto the play that was going on. Did not respect 𝘁3, but here might be a play.
Yeah, they come on in. 𝘁3 going low. Will be taken down by the Cataclysm as 𝘁𝘁 tries to turn it around with the remount. Can't get it done, though, and BJ just melts. They got 1 kill back, but it just doesn't matter. But 𝘁𝘁 finally enters with the slicing Maelstrom, but the only ones getting sliced are SGB as they carve out these stakes. They're playing this well, but 𝘁𝘀 still on the lurk. Doesn't have the chrono shifts, and chrono break, I should say. So needs to be very, very careful as they bear on in. Smokescreen locks up the Victor. That'll be Blazers surfing forward, picking up that kill. 𝘁𝘁 takes down down his opposite number. Never mind, it is the Graves doing it. 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗶𝗀𝘀 needs one more auto attack. Can't quite do it, but it doesn't matter because his best friend Coded comes in and finishes the job.
Well, 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗶𝗀 aren't on the same page. So that fight is an easy cleanup. Lucian's going to go solo this dragon. That's a Hextech Soul wrapped up for 𝘀cie, so these fights only get easier, but 𝘀𝗀 are handing it to them easily. It was 𝘁𝗀cie and 𝗃𝗀 completely separate from the rest of their team going in, making a huge engage, while the rest of the team's just sitting there banging on the tower like, yay, we get gold. They're not talking to each other. Yeah. That's what it feels like. 𝘁 might get run down, but no, with a teleport
to cover him.
Free as hell, and now 𝗃𝗀's trapped out.
Funnily enough, that teleport, you really wish you could cancel it, as you'd be able to kill 𝗃𝗀 a lot faster. Has the blast cone, has a flag and drag. I actually think this 𝗀𝗻 survives. So in the end, that's a bit of a clumsy play there from 𝘀cie, but it's okay.
Yeah, no, like the teleport's fine. Coated just running completely the wrong direction. But yeah, we see this. Shogun and 𝘁𝗀 banging on the front, bang on the tower, and as this engage happens, yeah, they're just completely kept out of it. They weren't able to actually engage. It was for a very nice H3 ult from H3, I must say, because it did clip them both at the very end, just so it delayed them a little bit longer. So round up being just 2 sets of 3v5s, as I must say, sorry, 𝘀𝗀gy, you were there from the start, but you didn't do anything because 𝑐𝑐 just too good.
Perfectly played by Blazers. Yeah, this was just a really well-executed fight. 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗀, look, maybe you don't need to do that, but it's fine. Honestly, the top side of 𝘀cie is just playing an incredible game. The only player I have really any criticism for is 𝘁, and it's not horrible.
Really, I don't even
it's
really
not like he got solo. He died twice in lane. Like, that's not good. But he's made up for it. He's still having a very good game. This is 𝘀cie firing on all cylinders, and they're here to play. 𝘁𝗀 comes in from the flank. It's a lovely wave, but actually only clips one, and 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗀 surfs in. He's on top of 𝘀𝗀gy. He's trying to DPS down the boss. H3 will fall. This is a good start for Saigon Buffalo, but they have to keep it going. 𝘁𝗀'S low. This Tristana is firing. 𝘀𝗀gy is falling as well. Shogun gets over the wall, but now he can't participate in the fight. 𝗃𝗀 low. 𝘁𝗀 picks up a double kill. There is a dunk there. Shogun jumps forward, but thinks better of it. And it started out well for SGB, but it ended better for 𝘀𝗀ry.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗀 starts it, but Coded says he's gonna finish it. He just slams these shells over and over again, flashes forward into 𝘀𝗀gy, removes Shogun from the fight, doesn't get the kill, but removes him, and then just flashes straight into the Cataclysm so he can be locked in there with them and knock down 𝘁𝗀 and 𝗃𝗀 as well. Now they're going to 2-man this Baron with ease. This is more just for style points than anything, really. I think they almost could have just ended the game in the 2v2.
I don't think they quite had the wave. So just take the Baron, reset. You just need one more fight, right? 𝘁𝗀gy is here. There is a teleport coming in. They want to make something out of this. The Baron will be secured, but if they can deny them leaving the pit, it's good enough. But nope.
2 dashes. 2 dashes, very good. So they just exit the pit from the back. Good work from H3 to keep the side of SGB locked up. Yeah, so it starts with another attempt to pick onto H3, but with that, 𝘁𝗀 committing to finish that kill means he's not able to actually commit to the real team fight. 𝘀𝗀 doing so much work, and Coded, he's here to finish it off for them, just cranking out these crits.
𝘁𝗀 and 𝗃𝗀 do their absolute best. Like, honestly, they make the best of a bad situation, but there's only so much.
Yeah, there's only so much. You're 8k down, your team fights are sloppy and spread apart. It's just looking disastrous for SGB, and if we don't see them really clean up their acts, 𝗃𝗀 in particular just needs to be on the page with his team.
Yeah.
This could be a quick 2-0 for 𝘀𝗀ry.
I mean, look, I'm not going to be bold enough to call that yet. 𝘀𝗀ry are having an excellent game, but SGB definitely had bright points in this game. I think this composition is not terrible.
Shogun.
Yeah, but I mean, I think 𝘁𝗀 has had some decent ults. I think the early game went well. I think 𝗃𝗀 was like they had three winning lanes, and 𝗃𝗀 just needed to play it better, and I think he can do that in game 2. So I'm not willing to write the whole series off yet, though I am definitely willing to say that if this was a best of 1, I mean, you can't even compare these two teams. 𝘀𝗀ry are just outclassing.
Yeah, so I'm going off a little bit of SGB history where they have the, like, good whole days, good bad days. They don't really have... Hold on, 𝘀𝗀 is being bounced on, but he has the ultimates.
Yeah, he does, but has to bounce back towards the Buffalo, go golden, to try and buy himself some time. He will just be taken out, but look how much attention he drew. He was just a raid tank, taunting the entire party of Saigon Buffalo onto him, pressed the axe call, and they just all pile forward. It doesn't matter, you killed 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, but it doesn't matter because we kill a 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀, and that is a perfectly played game out of 𝘀𝗀cie. Absolutely perfect, lovely, lovely stuff.
Yep, very little clapback from Buffalo. Beautiful play from 𝘀𝗀cie. They responded perfectly to everything that was attempted. They made their own plays. They took this matchup that we thought, what is actually going on in this mid lane? They just attacked it over and over again, and rolled from there.
That they did, and I can't wait for game 2 because I think 𝘀𝗀cie is, as I said, firing on all cylinders, and Saigon Buffalo need to put it into first gear at least to give us an interesting one. Will they be able to bounce back and send us to 3? I hope so, just because I want 3 games, but it could still be 𝘀𝗀cie sending us home early tonight. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in about 7 minutes with the VCS English Analyst Desk to break down all of the action here at the VCS. See you soon.
And welcome back after game 1. What an interesting game we had there. And 𝘀cie, you predicted that we will have a spicy pick and ban phase, a spicy draft, and we really did. Like a Graves top lane, Renekton mid lane. And what are your thoughts about game number 1? And yeah, what do you think about it?
I mean, here's a little presentation coming out for me. You maybe some of the VCS English knowers know I brought the canyon back up, and that means one thing usually, that is the draft canyon. I can still read that. I think it was still a draft canyon in the favor of Saigon Buffalo, but we didn't really factor in the other canyon we had there, which is, of course, named after the 2020 World Championship Jungler Canyon, and that is the Jungle Canyon. And here we see it. There's on the one side, there's 𝘀𝗀𝗃, on the other side, all up in the air, there's 𝘀𝗀𝗃, who absolutely 1v9 this game, and 𝘀𝗀𝗃 really didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, interesting to say. We will talk a little bit more about the jungle, but first of all, I want to unleash 𝘀𝗀𝗃. What do you have in your mind? What is going on? How did you saw the game?
Okay, so I'm going to make this as clear as I possibly can. I fell in love with Saigon in week 3 of spring, last split. They were a team that nobody really expected to do much. And we saw them kind of transition into a very fantastic style. They started figuring out how to use 𝘀𝗀𝗃, who up until that point had basically been a meme on broadcast, because at that point he had like 6.7 TS per minute, played 𝘀𝗀𝗃 mid lane because he just had this wacky champion pool out of nowhere. And it was impossible not to love the way that they had actually turned to playing the game, right? And they come into this split and they're having their struggles. But like, this is a team that I still support fully, and especially 𝘀𝗀𝗃. If you're familiar with the game New World, my character on New World is named 𝘀𝗀𝗃 because of this player on this team. My Chipotle orders, when I have to put a name on it, is usually 𝘀𝗀𝗃 because it shares the majority of the letters in my actual name, Dean. So don't take this lightly when I say, 𝘀𝗀𝗃, get your shit together, because that game, the entire first 15 minutes, pretty much was all his fault. Every gank, useless. Every movement on the map, useless. He cost 𝘀𝗀𝗃 that first death. If he had stayed and helped push the wave underneath the tower for 3 seconds of his time, 𝘀𝗀𝗃 gets to back and he gets to come back and he doesn't have to worry about getting flashed on or reganked. But 𝘀𝗀𝗃 just turns out from 𝘀𝗀𝗃 because it was the decision that was made by 𝘀𝗀𝗃 to just go to his Krugs and not protect his mid laner. It's basic stuff. It's stuff that he should know how to do. We've seen him do it before. It's killing me to watch this team fall to pieces, and a lot of it is 𝘀𝗀𝗃, who has just regressed to unbelievable levels.
Yeah, so guys, here we hear from a big Saigon Buffalo fans his opinion, I think. Let's talk a little bit about mid lane and jungle, because this was really, really interesting. We saw from 𝘀𝗀𝗃 a clear game plan. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 was always in 𝘀𝗀𝗃's face, tower dived him, 4 or 5 ganks always in lane. Was really hard for him to play even, but I think 𝘀𝗀𝗃 did manage it somehow to stay in the game. I mean, it was a really long game, a big banger. We have some Baron steals and some big things. What is your opinion, 𝘀𝗀𝗃, about 𝘀𝗀𝗃 and his performance?
I mean, I just did it earlier that he absolutely 1v9 this game. I mean, 1v9 might just be a little bit more of an over exaggeration, I would say, because I mean, while Code didn't really have the greatest laning phase, he was playing Graves against Cannon. It was like natural. He falls down like 10, 20 CS there. He didn't really die anywhere there, and he also teamfighted very well. The same can be said for Blaze in the mid lane. He was also actually beating the Victor with the Renekton. Got, of course, some decent help by 𝘁𝗀𝗀, and maybe even 𝘁𝗀𝗃, because he was always late to the party and just wasted his flash when he just went in without the Cataclysm level 6 and just underestimated the damage coming from their side. And I feel a little bit bad for Shogun, I must say, because he couldn't really play much better on the Tristana and just didn't really have time to get really online there, despite winning lane against 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 together with 𝘁𝑠che on the well, who also had a very great performance. And I kind of just feel bad for the two in the bot lane there on the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋, because they really had a decent game. Also, their coach, if we can say that, because their draft was also very solid. And I just hope that 𝘁𝗀𝗃 gets back on track for game 2.
We definitely hope so, and I think 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀 is also, praying that 𝘁𝗀𝗃 will come back to his performance, because it's a really important match, the 3rd place against the 4th place. So, and we already have a match point for 𝘀𝑺ury Esports, who will of course try to take this 2-0 away. But I don't know. I think something is in the air. I think that maybe we will see a little comeback of the Saigon Buffaloes. 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀, what are now the big changes we need to see in the draft phase, in the pick and ban? Because I think they got a little bit bamboozled with the Graves top lane, the Echo jungle. What are your opinions about the draft changes?
One of the very limited moments of this game that we actually got to see bright spot from was 𝘁𝗀𝗃 alongside 𝘁𝗂𝗋 was their room temperature IQ realization of the fact that when you've got Renekton mid lane, Echo jungle, and Graves top with a shield bow, this team is impossible to kill. It is really, really hard to kill them, and they found that out very quickly in the game. And they started shifting focus to Nami, started shifting focus to Lucian to kill off the members that were easier to kill to start with, so that then they could use their numbers advantage. The problem was they kept separating so far, they were costing their backline, and all of a sudden Shogun and 𝘀𝗀𝗏, you were having problems putting out damage because you have a Graves in your face that's actually killing them faster than you can actually kill the support on the opposite team. Tragic, I know. Take away those options from the side of what is 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and the rest of the team. Because if you have to not be able to kill, if you could soak a whole combo on 𝘁𝗁𝗃, then ultimately get all your health back. If you can press one auto attack on Graves and get half of your health bar because there's absolutely nothing to do, it's unacceptable position. You need more damage to be able to work through that, or to just have less defensive kind of plays here on the side of what is effectively what's going to be brought out from 𝘀𝑺ury.
And damage you will receive. We are in the 2nd pick and ban phase. We already locked some juicy picks in. We have the Nami Lucian comp for 𝘀𝑺ury, and again Victor. And on the other side, we have Irelia and Jhin. 𝘁𝗀𝗃, what are your opinion about the first picks?
I do not like it at all. They gave away the Victor. They picked the Jhin themselves early on, while Jinx is open, while Kate is open, while they could have went for the Lucian Nami, and they just think Jhin Leona is apparently that much better, considering the kill pusher, and just could punish Lucian Nami again. This might just happen because 𝘁𝗀𝗏 is just that good, and Shogun is also a very solid AD carry. But you're already relying on your mechanical outplays and mechanical prowess to just win this lane. And Irelia might be a pick for either top or mid lane here. I'm really looking forward to see whether 𝘁𝗁 or 𝘁𝗏𝗏 plays it, and maybe there's like some angle where just bot lane becomes a killer and they can just keep rolling with it, or whether 𝘁𝗁 just absolutely styles on an assassin or fighter type pick like he did earlier. I think it was 2 days ago with the Akali he had. It was absolutely insane. But considering the draft with nameplates off, I think this heavily favors 𝘀𝑺ury right now.
Oh, all right. Only because we have one of the strongest, or the strongest bot lane, and the one of the strongest mid lane. On the other side, we have now jungle maybe locked in. It's not sure. 𝘁𝗀𝗃, maybe you take 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀. What should he pick?
Not that. I mean, you're going to come out with 𝘁𝗃, who's been struggling not just this week, but just like every single week. And they go, okay, you're going to be on a high, mechanically intensive, damage-focused, decently squishy frontliner. And they're going to have him play that alongside an Irelia with a Jhin. They don't have a backbone to this composition quite yet when it comes to the damage profile. Like, that's a weird pick to put together. And you could see 𝘀𝘀cie have come together with the perfect composition. They get 𝘀�UE and 𝑁AMI bot lane to cover for VCS and H3, who are supposed to be the weakest part of the map. You get early access to the game with like the Lee Sin for Killer Queen. You get coded on he's just textbook Jax. That's what he was known for. And 𝘀𝘀ce is also a Victor player from before. He was playing Victor when Victor was garbage. Like, that's how long ago. That's how much he actually likes the champion. Now he gets his hands on it when it's popular. Like this is, you don't even come to me with a question of who wins this game right now, because I don't even need to see what it is. I love 𝘁𝗲 𝘀𝑺. That's the only thing I like about this composition right now.
Yeah, and 𝘀𝐿cie, when we talk a little bit about the damage and the compositions, we have a little bit of mixed damage at Saigon and 𝘀𝑺ie only with his Victor. What are your thoughts about the team compositions, and especially how will the team fights go out?
I think the 𝘀𝑺ie comp is very well rounded overall. Maybe aside from the Jax, they could have picked like a more frontline champion there to have like even less of a risk. But Coated is so known for his Jax, and it's also so hard to counter. Yes, the 𝘀𝑺e does counter it, but it just is more of an early game counter, and later it will still not be able to match the side lane that pressure that the Jax can really hold up to. And yeah, 𝘁𝗲 is good on the 𝘀𝑺e, as Rebel just said, is also something I like in this comp, and they have like the potential to win it in the mid game with like just better team fighting. But overall, the draft has a lot of less fallback. And yes, in the VCS, better drafts always loses, we tend to say. But I still think that 𝘀𝑺ie, as I just now, won this game 1 after a not so good early game, actually, I would say, because they were getting outscaled and were not really getting a convincing lead. I think 𝘀𝑺ie today just had a better comp, and also is better in their state of mind and will take this game to here.
Yeah, and split push is really a really nice thing we should see a Rebel Fox, because we have, of course, the Jax, and who will be there really to answer this Jax, especially in the 20 minutes plus. Will 𝘀𝑺ie play split push or will they not? Your final opinion?
They can run whatever they want. I feel like this composition is great. I actually think it's also possible that Victor and 𝘀𝑺e, or my apologies, the Victor and the Jax get swapped. So Jax is against the 𝘀𝑺ie and Victor's against the 𝘀𝑺e. Gives you 2 good lane matchups on top of everything else. Not a good look here. 𝘀𝑺ie is looking to take this and secure that 3rd seed really easily.
Nice. So 2 good matchups, 2 good casters for you. We have 𝘀𝑺e and 𝘁𝗀 for you. Take it away.
Really? Where are they? Are they coming on late or something? I'm joking, of course. Thank you very much. As we are heading on to this game, we need Saigon Buffalo to bounce back after they got sort of manhandled every moment past 10 minutes by 𝘀𝑺ie. Now,
I want to cry.
Now, 𝘁𝗀, I'm going to have to ask you to keep your mold as short as possible. What do you think of this Saigon comp?
So, look, I don't like seeing big star AD carries on Jhin. Like, when Cerberus picks Jhin, like, I get they're trying something different. They want to let Yado and Pun, Ego be the big carries. That's fine, because you could actually rely on them to be big stars. You don't have that! Shogun's your only good player right now. He's like your only consistently good player.
Hang on. Speaking of Shogun, is moving in, dealing a fair bit of damage, but taking a fair bit back. Because they lose that trade very hard. Yeah, that's what blows my mind. Caitlyn and Jinx are open.
Imagine if it was Jinx. Imagine if it was a real champion that does damage. I
understand the idea of picking Jhin to neutralize a potential Lucian 𝘁𝗀, but just pick Caitlyn. Just pick Caitlyn. Yeah. Or just pick Jinx. Like, to Jinx to scale. I hate this Jhin pick. I really don't like it.
Or run back Tristana Rel. Like,
yeah, that worked.
My God,
you won lane really hard.
Bad. It's dreadful. And now look, you do have the push because Jhin gets a very strong early push, level 1, thanks to the bouncing grenade. But you're gonna see the mid lane sort of bounce out to even because it's mid lane. But on this top side, Coated just putting the pressure onto 𝘁𝗲 early on, gonna beat him about with the counter strike, do a fair amount of lane damage. But maybe we see BJ on this top side try and make something happen. Lots of spell damage coming out from these two, so can work around this counter strike.
Funnily enough, both of them do need auto attacks though. The 𝘀𝑺e W, of course, is just 1 auto attack. Diana's passive though is very auto attack heavy. The Jax is going to be safe, as BJ is just going to back off and continue to clear his waves. Now, look, we flamed this draft. And I think rightfully so. But if it works, it will look pretty spectacular. They do have a pretty strong wombo combo. They can get a lot of one-shots. Over on the 𝘀𝑠hi𝗰𝗋 side, I mean, I think our analyst desk made the point. It's draft heaven.
Yeah, the 𝘀𝑠hi𝗰𝗋
Playing blind pick.
The only thing I would say is, if I was playing, if I was in charge, I would not be picking 𝘁𝗰𝗋 in a blind pick because Jinx Thresh is just preferable to me.
I get it, though. I get why they do it.
But yeah, like, you're not angry. You're not going to be like, how dare you pick 𝘁𝗰𝗋, you
Exactly.
fiends.
Exactly. And Killer Queen gets to go on to his Lee Sin, a champion that he is an absolute smurf on. He's able to do a huge amount of playmaking. I think this is pretty fantastic stuff. As Coded moves in, just wants to get positioning on this wave. 𝘀𝗋𝗄 with a good punish with the belly bop. We do know that 𝘀𝗋𝗄's a fantastic laner. Even in game 1, the lanes went pretty well for 𝘁𝗀𝗄𝗋. As Rebel pointed out, whoa. Coded, careful.
Yeah.
Oh, no mana on 𝘀𝗀𝗄, so he feels safe. Yeah, makes sense.
Feels safe, but 𝘀𝗀𝗄's mana costs are low, and with that level up now, Coded has to be very careful. So he's gonna actually back off now. This is sort of where, we're gonna start to see 𝘀𝗀𝗄 sort of getting a little bit of control. Once we get 2 items, once we get that Divine Sundra and Blade of the Ruined King onto Coded, then it probably swings back the other way again. But yeah, very good stuff from 𝘀𝗀𝗄, being able to push that wave and get a nice healthy reset for himself. Similar things happening on the bot side for SGB, and their lanes were fairly good. It was just,
they were great. I mean, look at the scoreboard, Marmy. They've got a 6k gold lead. Oh, it went away. That was a bug. There was a bug where 𝘀𝑠hi𝗰𝗋 only had 1k gold, but they have fixed that, thankfully. No worries.
Yeah. It's just, you look across and you're saying, 𝗀𝗀, can you actually make something happen this time? Can you get something to happen? Can you stop 𝘀𝑠hi𝗰𝗋 from being able to find early leads? And look, that's more effective than some of his ganks in the last game. But
yeah, he did in fact hit the queue. Congratulations. I mean, look, that one's not 𝗀𝗀's fault. That gank never happens if Froggy doesn't hit the E. But at the same time, that was definitely just a gank of opportunity. He had nothing else to do. So may as well have a crack. As Killer Queen starts Dragon.
I'm surprised. Okay, Taki not actually going to push in and walk through the river proper, so actually not going to spot this. So yeah, this is just an easy free take.
But it's potentially being traded for the top side as Froggy moves up. 𝘀𝗀𝗄 takes a tower shot though.
Oh, no.
Coded hits the bonk. I think just call this play off. I don't think this works. 𝗀𝗀's only level 5. Coded, does he have access to the counter-strike? Not yet, it seems. He does, actually. I tell a lie as they finally move in. Under tower, there's the dodge field going up. Jumps away from the Vanguard's edge. They finally take him down. But it took a while and Froggy's dead. Oh, the W saves him.
W too good. And look, I think, honestly, Coded could have played that a little bit better and actually, or rather a little bit more aggressive. Like, he could have utilized the flash, tried to actually stun someone under the tower. But he played it very well, bought so much time, and just, look, that's just so much invested on the top side. They get the kill at the end of it, but it's not actually the biggest loss for Coded. He's going to have to walk back to lane. Going to lose a few CS.
He loses a fair bit of CS. I think that, but it wasn't the cleanest dive ever. But
you compare to, say, where he was already with 𝘀𝗀𝗄, he's still even. And say, look, we see a 𝘀𝗀𝗄, he's getting hit very low. If he really wanted to, he could have committed, like, a flash, block, tried to, like, let go onto 𝘀𝗀𝗄 at the back there and try and blow him up. Try and get some more damage on the Froggy or something. Trying to actually utilize the Counter-Strike to its full potential, but it's 3 versus 1. It's kind of like...
look, I think he did fine. Like, I think both teams, got what they wanted out of that. Coded bought as much time as he could, but SGB did still walk away with a kill. Blazers rips out the Chaos Storm in the mid lane, trying to punish Froggy, push him off the wave so that he can farm this one up nice and safely. Victor building up a CS lead, of course, with Froggy roaming. That is completely expected.
Yeah,
𝗀𝗀 just coming into cover.
It's good to see that at least we are getting Froggy out of the lane, trying to impact other places. A little bit easier on the Irelia. Good dodge from Coded.
Yep, well done. Step forward, does not get pushed under tower, but that's now a big ult down for a potential Herald fight. As the Gragas ult cooldown is not the longest in the world, but it's, still just level 1. Will take some time. 𝗀𝗀 moving up. Do they want to try and make a play onto this Jax? I don't know how well that's going to go. As 𝘀𝗀𝗄 Just pushing the wave out. We do have the bot lane from SGB here first, so they should definitely have priority over the Herald pit. But they just
are stepping
give
back.
it up.
And
They're going to try and push the mid wave.
Yeah, they're not actually able to get pressure in the waves, which is what's keeping them a little bit honest.
Skittish.
That's the word. So yeah, we saw them try to make their way into the top side just to push Coded back, try and get their pressure in, but then when they bailed off, Coded just pushed straight back into it and pushed them right off. Now it's a little bit of a funky position where Coded is a little bit no man's land, but
yeah, it's look, this one should be fairly easy. The eye is going to open towards them. Smite comes in, secured by SGB, but everything missing. No, 𝘀cie actually hit that E. My mistake. Vanguard's Edge is zoning the rest of them out, but they're turning onto Coded. They're so scared of this counter-strike, and it makes sense, but it's a good Diana to try and turn around. Gets booted away before the laser can land. Flying into the back line is 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 to pick up a kill. They're getting more and more, Marby, and you've got the Herald, but you lost 3.
You didn't even get the eye. They didn't pick up the eye. They couldn't. They had no way of getting into it.
Oh no, tragedy.
𝘀cie honestly could have just, after that E brought him in, walked and just suicided for the eye as the rest of the team books it. But they lose the eye, they lose the fight, and now it's just a big swing at 1.2 for 𝘀cie. They
75. Victor just picked up 3 takedowns. He has found the cure for his super cancer as he picks up 75 stacks of the Glorious Revolution.
Yeah, he is off to the races. Gonna pick up that second enchantment. Gonna upgrade. Yeah, you see here, look, they're just covering it. Froggy walks right next to the 𝘀cie. You were right. You're gonna go for it. But Coded on the flank. It looks like a dangerous position for him, but he's a Jax. He gets to just walk in, press E, and take no damage. And so he does that, gets a big stun. The follow-up from H3 is great as well. It's everything coming up 𝘀cie.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Froggy has to find a way out of this one as 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹 comes bearing on down, but with 𝘀cie throwing in his ult, this could be one step too far by the Lee Sin, but he just dances away, and it doesn't matter because with H3 arriving, the Nami is here, the 𝘀𝗵𝗋 is come, and they force them back. SGB get nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Oh my god. Yep. That's it. Ankle's broken. Tilt to the max. You just tilted. Goodbye. Nah, you gotta see. It was a very good play from 𝘁𝗰𝗋, just like dashing around. Lots of defense. Lots of early health being built up. Froggy just not quite having everything right there. They can't land the full CC from the solar flare. It doesn't work out. They get away. H3 able to respond in time. Very nice stuff coming out from 𝘀𝗀ie.
That it is, as they do have this 1k gold lead. Once again, 𝘁𝗀 has been better this game, so definitely possibilities that SGB can get back into it, no question. They are now True Dragons down, though, so things are not looking good, to say the least. And they don't have... And the issue is that last game, they had the Victor that I had to keep my eye on the whole time. This time, Blazers is on the Victor, and if the Victor's team is ahead in the early game, then they can just pass it off and go, okay, we did the early work, Victor, you do the rest, and it's just a bit too easy.
And just to add insult to injury, 𝘀𝗀ie is the one that gets the red buff, not 𝘁𝗀. It's a shame. But yeah, you see this, like last game, you could have said if they keep it close, the scaling comes in huge with the ADC and the mid laner. Now it's just not the case. You have a Jax, you have a Victor. Lucian, compared to Jhin, yeah, still Lucian favored, let's be real. Irelia and Diana will scale very well, and Gragas' effectiveness is mostly down to his mechanics rather than his actual levels or items as well, so he never truly falls off, but this is it's a lot harder to execute for SGB as the game goes on. It's very easy.
But this is a good way to turn it back around. Just go for these little pick plays. You do actually have to finish it off. They do that well. They'd love to get 2 here as well. They'll manage it. Who do they give the kill to? Over to Shogun. Good decision. Good fight back here from SGB. Gold back to basically even.
Yeah, should have given it to 𝘁𝗰𝗋 rather, in my opinion, because Diana's going to be the big threat.
Froggy, need to find a way out. Good stun on Blazers, I think, saves his life.
Yeah.
Well played.
minion coming up just to block the Q as well. Very, very good job coming out from the side of 𝘀𝘀. Lands the stun when he needs to save his life. It's a good clapback. It brings the goal back to even. It's just those dragons that are the lead, and it's rough. You can't really get out of that even with the plans because there's just so much instant CC to follow it up. Yeah,
there's not much they can do. Ooh, just realized I need to fix something. Apparently, we never changed the stream title. That's my bad. I forgot I had to do it because you're always not here. So if you can just cover for us.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's to bait people into a much better
No, I disagree. I think this is a great series.
And the counter-strike still lands. 𝘀𝗀 gonna follow through, but 𝘁𝗀 and 𝗀𝗀 and the boys are here.
Good turnaround. Yep, the TP in, the Diana responding, and 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 are not going down without a fight as they move into the lead. But 𝘀𝗀cie looking a little bit 𝘀𝗀-like here. You give up something, but 𝘀𝗀 is the team we always talk about, always making cross-map plays. But here's 𝘀𝗀cie doing the same. Yeah,
𝘀𝗀cie just being able to put down the pressure on this bot side. They're actually not even really winning bot side that hard, but it's still Buffalo that are escaping the lane early, making sure the rotation is there, and that gives the free time over to 𝘁𝗀 and to Vit and H3 to knock down that outer turret, get first brick. Now it's going to be traded up on the other side by 𝘀𝗀ie, so that should bring the goal right back to where it was. But now we're just going to see, where does 𝘀𝗀cie go? We've got a minute and a half to the next dragon. That's probably the big fight that's going to come up. That's where everything's going to blow up, and if 𝘀𝗀ie can secure that, for sure they are in a fantastic position to win.
Yep.
Cool, but look, SGB are fighting back a lot better this game. They are first to plays. They are actually grouping up and trying to fight as a unit. This is a much nicer look from them compared to that disaster of game one. Now Coated out of position. 𝘀𝗀ie can find him.
Yep, they're moving in. Coated with a good stun onto 𝘀𝗀ie. 𝘀𝗀 does land the Q, doesn't want to follow it in as the wave surfs across. Few knockups. It's a good Leona ult to hold them back for now, but that culling is doing a lot of damage onto 𝘁𝗀ie. They need to find a way out of this one as in goes the 𝘁𝗀, but he can't actually get anything done as he's held up by all the CC. The first kill does come in onto 𝘀𝗀ie though, and 𝘀𝗀ie are moving forward absolutely triumphant here as they have pushed the Buffalo back. And there's very little response. They open up with a Jhin ult. That's a horrible angle, though. Just doesn't give him the coverage he needs. They walk out of it. They have to just walk away. 𝘀𝗀ie are just winning everything here.
It was such a silly fight. We'll get to that, but yeah, 𝘀𝗀ie, they have the pressure. They lose the Rift Herald, but they gain the pressure, and they have a wave prepared, so they're going to get a lot of damage down to this turret. They might even just take it. I don't know if they quite have the wave. Yeah, they should. It's Jax. He gets to just bonk forever. But I'm looking for that replay. I cannot wait for this replay. It's so silly to watch. But Dragon is up, so that's going to be the next point of contention, and so we're going to see them.
Let's have a look at this replay.
Right,
there you go.
Watch Blazers and HusMed. So we see it's a good engage. They're trying so hard. Great ult from 𝘁𝗀, knocks Blaze into him. Blaze just runs straight past him and flashes over the line saying, I don't care about you.
And 𝘁𝗀 looked kind of offended. Just like, oh, okay. But we come back to a dragon fight as the Infernal is in play. Resets, back up to basically full health. 𝗀𝗀 lurking off to the side, still has access to the Moon Laser. Yeah, 𝘁𝗀 on a good flank, has the cask as well. SGB with control over the dragon at the moment, but it's a 𝘁𝗀. We know that's not a fair 50-50, particularly when he tags it with the resonating strike. There's going to be an easy smite there for 𝘀𝗀, playing well into a lovely kick. Again, the Diana ult does nothing. He denies it. They trade back onto the Victor. It's now a 4v4, but Coated is on full health. Jumps forward. Good little bonk there by 𝘁𝗀 to try and save 𝗀𝗀. He saves 𝗀𝗀, but at the cost of his own life. And we've got the two sneaky boys going for a recall in the bush. It works out, but 𝘀𝗀ie win another fight.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗀ie win the fight. They get the dragon as well, so they are onto Soul Point. SGB utilizing the Rift Herald to get themselves the tower in the bot lane, so fairly good use of that, but just not able to control the pit, not able to keep track of the 𝘁𝗀. He's able to get in, he's able to secure the smite, and they're able to completely clean up the fight. It's just 𝘀𝗀ie playing just that little bit better. in pretty much every aspect, and it's getting them off to a fairly good lead. Just we see right here, Coated, the wave, all being able to secure and knock 𝗀𝗀 right away. I think he also got kicked away as well, so very good stuff at just denying 𝗀𝗀 even an attempt to get that smite down. Then a bit of a rundown. 𝘁𝗃 sort of sacrificed himself by getting that little body bop in, and 𝗀𝗀 just not even waiting for his top laner. As, alright, we see Chaos Storm dropped onto 𝗀𝗀, takes him down to about half health.
Yeah, they're playing it well, but they do manage to all dance away. Items are coming in, 𝘁𝗶. 2 items already complete onto the Victor is terrifying. He has the full Glorious Evolution as well, with 6 takedowns, plus, you know, the 180 farm. This is looking very scary if you're a Buffalo fan. It's looking great if you're a 𝘀WWE fan, though.
Yeah, we're at about about just under 2k gold. So it's not the biggest lead in the world, and you're seeing a lot of that is kind of concentrate on the support in terms of where the difference in items is coming in. But hey, an Imperial Mandate is a very effective item to have compared to a nothing, compared to a Kindle Gem and a Null Magic Mantle. So very good stuff. So that's going to provide a lot as the time goes on. Going to amplify the Lucian, of course, with that, the way it interacts with the Yi. But now we see the vision control on the top side in that river from the side of 𝘀WWE. Would like to see them be able to get a little bit more deeper into the jungle as well around that Baron, but considering it's only taking 20 minutes, it's not really a on the cards objective. It's just we need to make sure the enemy team isn't taking a crack at it.
Yeah, it's completely correct, as they're just poking their heads around. Infernal Soul point was secured with that last fight, of course. Worth pointing out, 𝘀𝗀 on the run from this Victor, has to try and dash away. If he gets stunned up, he knows he's dead, and I think he knows he's dead, 𝘁𝗶, as he goes low. 𝘀𝗀 walks in and just gives him the boot and kicks his head clean off.
Famously, Lee Sin Kick is an execute, and he comes up and shows it just like that. Beautiful stuff. That's a dead frog. Now, Buffalo does have the push in the bot lane. There's not too much Vit can do, except this. Beat me to the punch, mate. Rude. But that's not
𝘁𝗀. He goes in, does manage to walk away. 𝘀𝗀 didn't want to overcommit, just being a little bit fancy there on the Lee Sin, dashing and dashing and dashing. Up on the top side, Blazers will be taking this tower. The raid boss is definitely complete, and they might need to go back to the days of Classic, because you might need 40 to take him down.
They're gonna try 3, try 4, try 5.
Unfortunately, Blazers has also called in his friends. As Coded, he enters evasion, spins his stick around, dodges a lot of auto attacks. It's a good ult by 𝘁𝗃, but it doesn't matter when he can just jump straight back out. 𝘀𝗀, all he's done is break the crown of the Shattered Queen. That's all he can do against Blazers, and they just walk away.
It's okay, Blazers can't do much more either, having no mana in reserve, so it's a little bit of a back and forth, not too much going either way. A bit of a health lead for 𝘀WWE overall, but without the resources, they can't really push to continue. 30 seconds to Dragon, that's where the focus is going to be. If they grab this Infernal Soul, it should just be H3 getting dogged by the boys. But it should just be lights out with if Blazers landing a 1 rotation. He's going for the Zhonya, so he's just playing super tank.
Yeah,
so this maybe not quite the 1 rotation, but
I mean, with Infernal Soul, probably not too much more than 1, but this is pretty much make or break here for SGB, and 𝘀𝗀 just gets completely annihilated. Yeah, I think 1 rotation's fair. Is 𝘀𝗀 moving in? Can he actually find a kick? He gets it onto 𝘁𝗀, not the ideal candidate, but a kill nonetheless, and it just doesn't matter. They answer back. They do pick up 1 onto 𝘀𝗀, but look at this culling coming in, taking them all down. The Buffalo are getting routed. They have no way back in, and we need a Herculean effort out of 𝘁𝗃 here, or it's Infernal Soul, and I just don't think he's got it in him.
Yeah, no, they really can't. The cask is down. That would have been the big sort of big ticket spell to try and steal it away, considering there's no smites on the map. But yeah, with that down, they don't even try for it. So now it's just Infernal Soul wrapped up. This should be fairly easy for them. Just knock down this tower. Okay, maybe they don't have a wave, so not that one. But I mean, well, they can just sort of set up for Baron, and they don't even necessarily they're not necessarily even looking for the worm itself. They just want to get those fights.
Yeah, they just want the
because they
fight.
can just keep pushing the lead. It's only a 4K goal lead, but when you have the Infernal Soul, it's worth so much more.
Yeah, and Froggy just can't have an impact in this fight. The Irelia is too far behind. 𝘀𝗰𝗄 doesn't even play this fight particularly well.
Oh.
He kicks a support and dies, but it doesn't matter. He sprints that fight, but his team is just too far ahead. They catch Blazes, though, as we come out of the replay. Traded for 𝘀𝗀 on the other side, but you take that trade every day of the week. 𝘀𝗁𝗁, I mean, you've got one or two more chances in this one to have any... Oh my god, look at that culling. Absolutely destroying Froggy. His only choice was to dash to a counter-striking Jax, and he got destroyed. Absolutely no Valorant being played in this house. We are a Counter-Strike household, apparently, as Coded will pick up the double kill. They will move to Baron, and 𝘀𝗀cie are looking to remind us why they had their ridiculous run at the start of the split.
Yeah, the slump looks like it might just be over from 𝘀𝗀cie. They are looking back on form, and they are looking good while doing it. 𝘀𝗀𝗰 more than making up for that last fight with a very slick kick onto Shogun, picking up the Baron as well. They easy convert into mid lane turret. That's gonna round them up to a nice about 7-8K gold lead. Yeah, just Blaze is basically soloing out 𝘀𝗀, just the execute. That should not have landed. That was sus.
Well, not this time. It was a little bit sus, but we did find the imposter. Yep, that's the one. I forgot what the word was from Among Us. But we're back in.
Yeah, we're gonna land. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. There's a bit of a bush going on. They sort of sensed it was there by that sonic wave, but it doesn't actually reach the bush, so they don't have information. They know now, thanks to that ward and that kick.
Oh, 𝘁𝗀𝗀, look how hard he gets chunked down immediately. Has to go golden. The Sky Laser does very little. He just gets taken down. Victor says, you have a laser from the moon? Well, I've got one from my arm, and it's a lot better. As they get another 2 kills, they'll surf their way in to the mid lane. On the other side, Vit just decides to kill Shogun. Just for fun, I guess. Wants to abolish the samurai. As they now push up the mid lane, and I mean, this game is just donezo.
Japan's going back into isolation. The Shogun is being destroyed. It's all going back to Meiji, boys. Well, sorry. I don't know. I'm getting my things mixed up. Anyway. Dead inhibitor. Dead
Yep.
𝘁𝗀𝗀. And most importantly, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 not actually doing any damage. We saw him get a big 3-man ultimate, but when the laser falls down, there was still full health across the board. It felt like nothing's going right for the side of SGB. They are just so far down, 10k at this point. And yeah, look, it's so much damage, but it does.
I mean, that Nami wave as well. That Nami wave denies everything. 𝘁𝗀𝗀's had a fantastic 2 games on the Nami.
Absolutely. As
nothing you can do.
Away. It's gonna walk away.
Yep. He is just going to have a walk. 𝘀𝗀𝗰 surfing over the wall. They wanted to try and find 𝘁𝗀𝗀, but he was being very sneaky. Actually cancels his back. Wonder what 𝘁𝗀𝗀's trying for there. Not sure. A teleport is being used into the bottom side. I think they just want to get this push going. What is 𝘁𝗀𝗀 doing?
I don't know. He's just wants to make sure his back is timed correctly. Try and do some ninja stuff and sneak up behind him. No, he completes his back this time, and I mean, you can try and defend, but with the Baron off.
Yep. Teleport being used. Don't ever defend this inner tower. Just let it fall. It does more harm than good. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 just gets exploded there. Fades away into light. Yeah, I agree, Blazers. That is the emote to use. As 𝘀𝗀𝗰 flies into the backline, gets the boot into 𝘁𝗀𝗀, tries to follow up on him. Hasn't killed him quite yet, but should take him down momentarily. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 will fall to the guns of Vit as well. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 goes gold under tower. Does he finally fall? No, he doesn't. He actually gets away. Nope. Oh, never mind. Right as I thought they wouldn't get him, he does go down, and it's an excellent performance out of 𝘀𝗀𝗀, outclassing 𝘀𝗁𝗁 at every step of the game. The Nexus will be the next to
Thank
fall. 𝘀cie respawns, but he's already taken his hands off the keyboard. And what a performance from 𝘀𝑺. Absolutely lovely, lovely stuff. And they will take a well-deserved 2-0.
Yeah, look, 𝘀𝑺 look just like we always like we wanted them to look since the change of patch. Like they struggled so hard in the last week, but they seem to have clicked. They seem to have found that. Hang on, no, this still works. We just need to do it like this.
Yep.
Patch 11.21 drives like this. They did great. They looked fantastic. We're gonna have to see if they can keep that up. I don't think they have any of the other top teams left to play.
I'm not sure.
Should help them lock in that third spot, but I think they all but mathematically secure the top spot there. I mean, considering they still have to play Flash,
yeah,
they look for playoffs.
But we don't want to take away all of their points. I'm sure me and you could talk for ages, but I want to give it back over to 𝘀𝑺 and the boys to break down that final game. What a game it was. But yeah, take it away, guys.
Thank you so much for the transition. Yeah, what a performance from 𝘀𝑺 Esports, and what a performance from our two wonderful casters, from 𝘀𝑺 and 𝘀𝑺. And yeah, 𝘀𝑺 and the boys. How do you feel about the game, about 𝘀𝑺 Esports? 𝘀𝑺, first of all, do you have to change your draft? What is it called? Not rally. Canyon?
You mean the background?
Or is it still?
The Canyon?
Yeah.
Great that you bring it up. I was thinking that I might just put it down, but actually, after this game, I might just as well keep it up. I mean, 𝘀𝑺 just. I'm very proud of them. They had a very decent draft. They actually wrote the draft home, had a not so classical VCS performance where you just draft well and then just int away the mid game and just lose to the early game skirmishing comp by just taking unnecessary skirmish. I really like what 𝘀𝑺 did this game. They took the right fights and reward themselves with a 2-0 here. And for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀, I gotta say, they are now within touching distance of SBTC Esports, and their strength of schedule so far is not looking too good. So SBTC definitely is in a position tomorrow against Team Secret to equalize the score against them and have a really close playoff race against them.
Definitely, if we watch there. But 𝘀𝑈𝑏Lefox, what do you think is for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 and especially for 𝘁𝑺? What is your opinion? They managed to fight a little bit better this game, but what are your thoughts?
At this point, I feel as though the thing that is really lacking from Saigon just happens to be a lot of interaction on the map. They kind of patchwork that by having 𝘀𝑺 sometimes step into that role quite a bit. But they desperately need to figure out how they can actually bridge this early game, because if it's not 𝘁𝑺 who's able to have this interaction that goes positively for them, that's kind of what drove a lot of their engine in the spring split when they were taking over. Whether it is the 𝘀𝑺 or the 𝘁𝗰 that was doing it, or if it was 𝘁𝑺 himself, they have to kind of rekindle that, because especially in games like this one where you set yourself up in a really rough situation, your win condition is pretty much exclusively the 𝘀𝑺 in the long term of the game. To not really have that much interaction from 𝘁𝑺, it's kind of killer just from the start. You're already stumbling out of the gate before anything else. So that's my prescription. Whether 𝘁𝑺 is capable of just patching that with a champion, or they desperately need to have some sort of systematic change, they got to figure out what ails them, because right now it feels like they're failing their side lanes a little bit.
Definitely. And 𝘀𝑺, we talked a lot about 𝘀𝑺 Esports and about the inconsistency of the season. Are they now back, in true form? Is this even the final form of 𝘀𝑺 Esports, or can they go further?
That's a good question, because what is really the true form of 𝘀𝑺 Esports? They look different every single week, and this week again they look great. Maybe next week they look bad again, but then playoffs is potentially in another week, so maybe they look great again for playoffs. I think they may have just secured playoffs mathematically as well. I might just look that up again, because they are now on, I think, their 8th win, and you only make playoffs if you are in the upper half, and you know just won more than half the total series. So they should probably be around now mathematically locked for playoffs, or at least realistically locked for playoffs. And I'm really looking forward to see what they can do in playoffs, because, I mean, this is a very exciting team to watch. Whether they play good, whether they play bad, it's all up in the arms for them. And I really like how they're going towards draft recently. It looks really convincing so far, at least in the second game. The first, not so much, I gotta say. But and also individually, I mean, aside from maybe the bot lane, who struggled a little bit, but also didn't really fall behind too much and still plays respectfully enough to get carried. I think the team is really having a bright future so far, especially 𝘁cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀, of course, in the jungle, who hasn't put on an absolute show today.
Definitely, we had some big games really, and especially the second game, 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀. When you look at the statistics and all the kills, it was relatively equal, relatively even. But if you watch the game, like you heard it from the caster, really dominant performance by 𝘀cie esports, but it didn't felt really like it. I thought that Saigon maybe had one or two chances to come back, but at the end of the day, everyone who watched the game knows there was like no chance. Is this like a problem of the game that it's really hard at the moment to come back? Or what are your thoughts? Why was it so clear when you watched the game that Saigon can't come back?
It was a matter of in game one, their problem was like they had a scaling composition, they got attacked early, and it was 𝘀𝗀cie kind of doing everything right. And in game number two, again, compositionally, they were all kind of designed around a one-trick type pony in this situation. They had a one-horse race for their kind of what their composition was around, which was this big Diana Aurelia Wombo combo in terms of team fight. And they never really got it to come to full fruition the way they wanted it to, not only in terms of being able to put the ultimates together, but also being able to put all the damage in place, right? You didn't have the itemization, you didn't have 𝘁𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀 off to a really good start. And 𝘀𝗀cie just, not only is it the fact that they understood that and they attacked in the earlier stages to make sure that this was not going to be the case, to kind of throw a wrench into the game plan, but the fact that they played, team fights really kind of, separately. They had a lot of times there was good dives coming out from the different members. They were able to put really good focus into one member at a time. 𝘀𝗀cie made it near impossible on its own for the side of Saigon to come back, even if they had the right amount of gold. That game plan alone from 𝘀𝗀cie was really good. It seems as though their game planning has really come a long distance from the beginning of the split. So while I would like to say, okay, Saigon's completely at fault here, I actually have to give a lot more of it to 𝘀𝗀cie, who seemed to have played out and knew exactly what to do in the second game.
Perfectly said, perfectly wound up. You just said at the start that 𝘀𝗀cie has a really good game plan, and now we see they won the series 2-0. They had a game plan, they executed, in my opinion, really, really well. And yeah, 𝘀cie, do you have anything to say at the end for the series, for the day of today, for the games for today? Anything you have in your head?
A little bit. I want to give a little bit more credit again to 𝘀𝗀, who really played the Jax well again, as we know it for him. I mean, we can all just spam the Jax active copy pasta again about his Counter-Strike, but that's just what I'm going for right now. He played the Jax blind again, had to lane against the 𝘀𝗀, which is not easy for him, and he managed to lose the lane gracefully or even slightly win it. He was never really behind against him, and already was pushing the limits at around level 4 marking, which is very early for him. And I really like 𝘀𝗀 today. He had a very good Jax game. Also, the other game, he wasn't in the easiest matchup either, with the Graves against the Cannon, and team fought very well. So gotta give some credit to him, and maybe we are undervaluing him a little bit here. And I'm looking forward to the next games, especially tomorrow, whether it will be that SBTC manages to go level against 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀 and make the playoff very super interesting. And also, of course, the absolute banger we have on Sunday, which will be, of course, 𝘀𝗁𝗺, the undefeated team, against 𝘀𝗀, the team, the old king, so to say, that is kind of rising up right now. Will we see the return of the king, or will we see a new king coming to the Rift with 𝘀𝗁𝗺's esports? And I'm all looking forward to the weekend now, because this will be very exciting games.
Yeah, perfect. 𝘀𝗀cie already announcing the next matchups, and at the end, there's only to say thank you a lot, guys, for all the support you guys are showing in the chat. Today went totally crazy. The casters went totally crazy, and I think we at the analyst desk has also a lot of fun. So, as 𝘀𝗀cie just mentioned, tomorrow on Friday, you will have, of course, Team Secret against CPTC, and after that, you will see again 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗹𝗀𝗀 against Team Flash. Let's see, maybe we can have upset there. So just check us out tomorrow. You will get another League of Legends, another VCS English stream, cast, producing. And yeah, at the end, thank you a lot for having me there. Another German guy, and I really enjoyed it with you, 𝘁𝗶𝗀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀cie. You were wonderful analysts today. Predicted pretty much every draft one champion at least, correct? So this is a really good rate. And yeah, so thank you guys. Much love from us. And yeah, see you tomorrow, mate.